All right guys, so today we're gonna be installing the roof on this dog kennel right here. It's an 8x12 dog kennel. We should have this done here in a couple hours. Guys, so that was pretty simple. All I did was lay out all my sheets. So this is a 8x12, so it took 4 sheets per side. There is a little bit of an overhang up here, but I'm gonna trim that down in a little bit. Joe, just when you're doing these, just make sure your overhang is even, and then also right here, see how it's all the way straight. So we know that we lined up right. I just put the screws on the bottom side for now to hold them in place, and then I'm gonna do the other side. And then once it's all put in place, I'm going to come back and jump on the roof, and I'm gonna finish screwing the whole thing off, and then I'm gonna install my rake and then my ridge cap, and then I'll show you how to do that. But something like this, guys, it should take you a couple hours. You can re-roof an entire shed or anything that's a small building like this. You can do it yourself. It's super simple and easy. It takes about a couple hours, maybe takes you 3-4 hours, if you know, depending on your experience level. So we're done with this side. Now we're gonna move to the other side. See, this is called a max panel. Now a lot of companies call it different names, but here we call it a max panel. So if you notice over here, there's no lip on this side. And then over here, there's a lip right here, as you can see. So this side's always gonna be running that way. So the next sheet's gonna go over this side, like this, and then the next sheet over the other sheet. So we run from this way, that way, follow the lip, from the lip that way. So on the previous one, we were putting our double screws here and here. Now the screw pattern doesn't matter. It's a personal preference. You can just go here, here, you know, here, skip a rib, or in the center. It's up to you. What I do is I put a screw every other one. So one right here on the bottom. Then I'll put one in the center here, and then I'll put one at the top. Wherever that center screw goes is I'll put the one screw on the top, and then vice, you know, go all the way down from there. So on the last one, we were running that way. So we're gonna have to mark our panel backwards. So just make sure that you mark it backwards when you flip sides. So this one, we're gonna start marking it over here instead. And then you can do whatever you want. I like to keep my distance at 3 inches on the bottom, so I have a little bit of a bite. So I have a 1 inch overhang, plus I have 2 inches of grab for that screw. So I do 3 on the bottom. And then what I do is I just half it in the center. So whatever your sheet is, divided by 2, and that's where your middle screw goes. Just keep it simple. So this is a 51, it's a 51 inch panel. So I'm gonna go, I'm just gonna do 25. So your center screws, I always put it where your next panel is gonna meet. So right here, pretend this is screwed on. Here's your middle screw. Your next panel goes here, right? If I put a screw here, and then I'm skipping every other one, I'm gonna end up skipping the rib that overlaps this. So I always put it here, so then the screw that overlaps this rib is holding both ribs down like this, right? So I always go here, and then so the next screw should be on the next rib where this one overlaps, if that makes any sense. So wherever your center screw is, so I'll put one there and then one here. One there, one here, one there, one here. So keep it all uniform and even, looking nice and presentable. You don't want your screws being all crazy all over the place. It's all about presentation. All right, so we're gonna put this one on. You know, quality is not just about will it leak, but it's also about visual. Okay, on this one, I forgot to make I do an overhang of 1 inch. So I'll mark my 1 inch, and I just marked the 1 inch on one of them, my starter metal, my starter one. And then after that, it should line up. So I'm gonna mark it 1 inch. That's what I want my overhang to be. So 1 inch right here. And then I'm also gonna mark 1 inch on the other side. Line up that one corner. Once you have that corner lined up, put one screw to hold it down. Okay, so now you're gonna come over on this side, and you're gonna line up your other end. You're gonna make sure your other end is even 1 inch. So your overhang matches. Remember 25, 25, 25, 25. Then right after your first mark, so here's your middle mark. So we'll go 3 here, skip one, skip one, skip one. This is your top panel, lines up with your center. So my next panel should line up with the next one. So on the next one, I shouldn't have to measure the 1 inch right here, which is my overhang. You just line up your 2 panels together right here. And then you're gonna pull on this panel, because sometimes you might have a little overlap where the top of the panel overlaps on the rib, so it's not straight, it's a little bit like this. And if you don't pay attention, you screw it down, it's gonna throw you off. So by the time you get to the end, your overhang is gonna start to rise. So instead of having a 1 inch overhang at the end, you're gonna have maybe half an inch or nothing, you know, depending how much of how bad you run off course. Okay, so we're good. We're gonna add one right here, put it all in place. Remember, we're just tacking it right now for the meantime. Okay, so like I said, add a panel, screw it down. So the next screw is gonna go right here. okay, right there. Skip one, the next screw goes right here. Skip one, the next screw is going to go on the next panel. My overhang is going to be even, so you want to keep checking your overhang every other sheet or so to see if you're starting to have a runaway. Okay, last panel. Reality, guys, the top one doesn't have to be all perfect because it's covered with the ridge cap, so you can't even see those screws. But like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I have OCD and everything has to be straight and even and look good even if you can't see it. I got it all screwed down, tacked in, so we got done with all the panels. If I look down, it's all straight and even. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna screw it off. We're gonna screw the center and the ends. Okay, roof's done. Now we're gonna come back and do the rake trim on both sides, and then we're gonna do the ridge cap, and this building will be completed. So now we're gonna grab our rake trim, which is this right here. So we got our rake trim put on right there. So now we're gonna make the cut. That cut in the center right there, bend it over, and you're gonna have, it's gonna line up with the cut on your trim so it looks even and straight. So what I do is I just go from the line of my my trim where my two trim pieces meet right here. I just go straight up right there. Now you can do you can freehand it, just go like that, or if you want to be real precise, you can always use, you know, mark your line right there and just cut up it from here. Just mark it and then cut on your line like that. Okay, so you might have to come back and trim this corner off right there and then pull this back. Okay, And see how it's trying to bend? So now we're gonna make another cut. We're gonna make another cut right here. Okay. See how it's a smooth transition from here to this panel? Okay, so now we're going to screw it down. So make sure it's pushed up against your wall. You're nice and snug. Come back, put a screw right here on the top, both parts. Now I'm gonna come over here and finish screwing your other side down. Make sure you line up your screws. You keep your same screw pattern right there. See? Okay. So now I'm gonna come back, put a screw right here. And then you're gonna line up the same thing. Line up your end screws with the roof screws on the end. I got the rake trims done on both ends. Last piece, the ridge cap. Got it about a 2.5 to 3 inches overhang on this side and the same as well on the other side. So I'll line up one end right here, make sure your ridge lines up with the same thing with your line right here. And then you're gonna put a screw. Once you're lined up with your overhang here and here, you'll put a screw on one corner only, okay? You're also gonna look down this line on the ridge, make sure it's all the way straight. Once you're good, you're gonna put one screw right here. Right there, okay? Now, on that other end, I already put a screw on the opposite side, so it's already in place. So if you didn't have a screw over there, I'd put one on one corner, run to the other side, line it up on the other end, then put a screw on the opposite side so it keeps it straight. So now all I gotta do is come back and just finish screwing it all the way down, screw it all the way off. This side's already screwed in, these two corners right here, see? So it's not gonna go anywhere, okay? So to do this finish right here, what you're gonna do, or what I do, is you see there's a flap. Here's one piece, one bend, one flap, you know, flat piece here, 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 here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut right on the line on every single one. And you're gonna cut all the way. The two end pieces, you cut them off, okay? These two, you cut these corners off. Okay. Like that. Then you're gonna come back and cut on all the lines, all the way till you hit right here. Don't go past your rake trim. Just go up to right to the rake trim. Don't go past it. So now you got 4 pieces right here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna bend the end pieces inwards. Okay, let me come in right here. Okay, there's 2 pieces on the end. You're gonna bend them inward. Right where your line is right here, we're gonna cut it right there. Okay, so it'll be right there. See? Okay, so now, these two are ready. What we're going to come down, bend one of the flaps over, and then we're going to bend this corner over like this. Okay, but you see how it looks like that? So we want to remember our lines are going to go all the way even, all the way up. So since this is a finish line, you probably want to look. So what I do is I just mark where the line is, so it starts right here, and then I just connect from this corner to the line right there. See, we're gonna cut that off. All right, so we're gonna come back here, cut right on the line right there, and we're gonna put a screw right there on the corner. Okay, so there's your finish right there. It's covering the hole on the drip edge, and you have a nice clean look, and that's how it looks. Okay, we did our cuts on our ridge cap, so now we're gonna go to finish screwing down the ridge cap. Alrighty guys, so we got it all finished. It's all completed. The ridge cap was the last piece. As you can see, we're done. And that's pretty much it. That's how you install a metal roof. You can add foam inserts right here so birds and animals don't get in.